Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. 10 years ago today, Texas academics issued a dire climate warning. Texas is vulnerable to warming climate. July 10, 2011. As you sit by the pool and sweat this summer, one book you should be reading is The Impact of Global Warming on Texas. The book, written by a group of Texas academics, is a sober analysis of our state's vulnerability to climate change and the things we can do about it. It is a particularly appropriate read as we suffer through the hellish summer of 2011. While it's unknown exactly how much human activities are contributing to this summer's unpleasant weather, one lesson from the book is clear. Get used to it. The weather of the 21st century will be very much like the hot and dry weather of 2011. Giving extra credibility to this forecast is the fact that the weather extremes we are presently experiencing were predicted in the first edition of the book in 1995. Texas had a very bad drought and heat wave during the summer of 2011. But since the 2011 drought, Texas has had their wettest years on record. Temperatures have been declining in Texas for the past 15 years, and the current year so far has been one of the coolest on record. The percent of hot days is down 75% since the book was written 10 years ago. The hottest year in Texas was 100 years ago in 1921. The Texas government did listen to the academics 10 years ago, and they built lots and lots of wind turbines. And then in February, Texas was hit with record cold instead of record heat. The wind turbines froze up, and lots of people froze to death. The population pays a very high price when government listens to climate fraudsters. Texas was very dry in 2011, but by the year 2016, they were having their wettest years on record. Now let's take a look at what Sigourney Weaver said at the Democratic Convention during the very wet year of 2016 in Texas.
What we're really talking about is people. They're the people you're going to see in a few moments. People whose lives are affected by climate change right here in America, right now. Like a rancher in Texas who's losing his herd of cattle because there's no grass for them to eat. Or a farmer in Kansas whose crops are dying because there's no rain.
Nothing that Sigourney Weaver was saying had anything to do with reality. She said Texas was drying up when it was actually flooding. Climate alarmists claim to know the future, but they don't. And generally speaking, they don't seem to understand the present or the past either. Hopefully the Texas government learned their lesson and won't listen to these academic clowns again. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this madness for the past 13 years. You can visit him, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at RealClimateScience.com.